Ever feel like the old get up and go has, well, gotten up and left? Maybe things in the intimacy department aren't quite what they used to be, and you've just chalked it up to another candle on the birthday cake. It's a common feeling for us guys once we hit our 50s, 60s, and beyond. But what if I told you that a lot of what we blame on just getting older is actually tied to something more specific, something we can actually do something about? We've been looking into what health experts and researchers are saying, and a compelling idea keeps surfacing. Many age-related declines in intimacy aren't solely due to the number of years we've lived, but rather to a quiet decline in blood flow. This often begins subtly, sometimes as early as our 50s. Think about that for a moment. This isn't just about what happens or doesn't happen in the bedroom. This reduction in circulation can profoundly impact a man's physical function, his emotional connection with his partner, and even his overall sense of well-being and vitality. So, let's pull back the curtain on this whole circulation business, understand how it's really affecting us, and more importantly, explore what we might be able to do about it. What's actually going on inside our pipes as we mature? As the years tick by, our bodies undergo some subtle but pretty significant changes that have a direct impact on our circulation. It's not like a switch flips dramatically overnight. It's more of a slow, gradual shift that can creep up on us. First off, there's the matter of nitric oxide, or rather, less of it. You might have heard of nitric oxide, often called NO. It's a natural compound our bodies produce that's absolutely crucial for helping our blood vessels relax and expand. That's a good thing, right, for healthy blood flow? Well, the challenge is that after we reach 60, and often starting sooner, our bodies tend to produce significantly less of this vital compound. The result can be somewhat sluggish circulation. This means less oxygen is efficiently delivered to all the important places: your brain, your muscles, and yes, your intimate areas. It's a bit like trying to water your garden with a hose that has a few too many kinks in it. Then, there's the common issue of our blood vessels becoming a bit less flexible and sometimes narrower. Over time, our arteries, which ideally should be nice and elastic, can start to stiffen up and may even narrow a bit. This naturally restricts blood flow. You might notice this as having colder hands and feet than you used to, or perhaps you find yourself getting fatigued more quickly. There's often a general, somewhat diminished sense of vitality that can come along with these changes. Now, let's connect this directly to how our sexual function can be affected. It's fairly straightforward. When blood cannot get to the pelvic region as efficiently as it should, things may not work as well as they once did. This can show up in various ways, such as reduced sensitivity in that area, slower response times when you're trying to get things going, and difficulties in achieving or maintaining an erection. Some men even experience numbness, a frustrating lack of responsiveness, or believe it or not, actual pain during sexual activity. Health experts emphasize that poor circulation can silently destroy your intimacy, your confidence, and your connection. That's a pretty impactful statement, and it really underscores why this isn't something to just brush aside. And here's something incredibly important to grasp. This isn't just an intimacy issue, far from it. Poor circulation is often recognized by medical professionals as an early warning sign of broader vascular disease. It can actually increase the risk of serious cardiac events like heart attacks or strokes. Beyond the heart, it also has implications for our brain health. That brain fog you might sometimes experience, that persistent feeling of fatigue, even a decline in cognitive sharpness. Poor circulation can certainly be a contributing factor to these concerns. So you see, taking steps to get your circulation in better shape is about much more than just improving your love life. It's about safeguarding your overall health and vitality for the years to come. Why putting circulation at the top of your list can be a game changer. Okay, so we've established that compromised circulation isn't doing us any favors. But let's flip that coin. Why is prioritizing and actively improving your circulation so incredibly important, especially at this stage of our lives? Well, for starters, good circulation is foundational to so much of our well-being. Experts in men's health often say better circulation is the foundation of intimacy. Think of it like the foundation of a house. If that foundation is shaky or crumbling, everything built on top of it becomes unstable. Without good, healthy blood flow, energy levels tend to dip. That vital feeling of connection with your partner can weaken. And what about confidence? Well, that can quietly begin to fade away too. When you take proactive steps to get your blood flowing more effectively, you can start to restore that invaluable sense of presence and self-confidence. You literally begin to feel more energized. You're more there in the moment, more engaged and present in your daily interactions, and of course, in your intimate ones. This isn't just about physical capability, it's about feeling good enough, energetic enough, and confident enough to show up fully, not just physically, but emotionally too. It's the difference between just sort of going through the motions and actively living a connected, vibrant life. Who among us wouldn't want more of that? And then, there's the plain and simple reality of what's often called the use it or lose it principle. This isn't just some catchy phrase, it's a reflection of how our bodies often work, especially when it comes to sexual function. Consistent stimulation, whether that's through partnered intimacy or even mindful self-pleasure, plays a vital role in maintaining healthy blood flow to those delicate tissues in the pelvic area. It helps prevent the entire system from kind of becoming dormant from disuse. This maintenance, as some research refers to it, helps keep those blood vessels, nerve endings, and tissues responsive and in good working order. It's a bit like keeping an engine well tuned. Regular, gentle running keeps it in better shape for the long haul. Stocking your kitchen pharmacy, foods that can help fuel better flow. So, the big question is, how do we actually go about improving our circulation? One of the most powerful and often most enjoyable ways is through the foods we choose to eat every day. The research I've been looking at describes certain foods as nature's quiet warriors and even as medicine for your heart, your body, and yes, your intimacy. Let's take a closer look at some of these nutritional powerhouses that you might want to feature more prominently on your plate. When it comes to fruits, it's funny how we often overlook the simple, everyday options, yet some of them are packing some serious circulatory benefits. For instance, red grapes aren't just for a fancy cheese board, they are rich in a compound called resveratrol. Resveratrol is a bit of a superstar when it comes to enhancing nitric oxide production. And if you recall, nitric oxide is key for helping our blood vessels relax and expand. This, in turn, can translate to improved erectile strength and duration and better vascular sensitivity right where you want it, in the pelvic region. Cranberries, often hailed for their role in urinary tract health, also act as powerful protectors of our kidneys and the urinary system in general. And why does that matter for intimacy? Well, a healthy and comfortable urinary system is pretty crucial for enjoyable intimate moments, making it all interconnected. Then there are cherries, whether you prefer them tart or sweet. Cherries are loaded with anthocyanins, which are antioxidants that do a couple of great things for us. They help reduce inflammation in our arteries and also give nitric oxide production a helpful boost. This leads to enhanced overall vascular health, which can mean improved erection firmness and better pelvic circulation. As an added bonus, cherries can promote restorative sleep, and we all know good sleep is essential for balancing hormones and reducing stress, both big factors in a healthy sex life. And let's not forget pomegranates. This fruit has a bit of a regal reputation, and for good reason. Pomegranates are high in beneficial polyphenols and nitrates, both of which lend support to that all-important nitric oxide production and help enhance the flexibility of your blood vessels. Think of it as helping your internal plumbing stay more supple and responsive. Of course, we can't talk about a circulation-friendly diet without giving vegetables their due. Don't skimp on the greens and other colorful veggies. They are true workhorses for your circulatory system. Consider the humble beet. Some health experts have even called it a natural circulatory miracle, and that's a pretty strong endorsement. Beets are packed with dietary nitrates, which our bodies cleverly convert into nitric oxide. And we know what that does. It helps relax and expand blood vessels, which in turn improves blood flow, can boost stamina, and may even help to reduce blood pressure. If you've not been a big fan of beets in the past, their circulatory benefits might just make you reconsider. Spinach is another hero in the vegetable aisle. Popeye was definitely onto something. Spinach is loaded with those natural nitrates we appreciate, but it also brings magnesium and potassium to the party. This powerful combination helps to soften blood vessels, improve circulation, and stabilize blood pressure. Plus, it supports hormonal balance, including testosterone, which is vital for men's health. That's a lot of goodness packed into one leafy green. And what about garlic? Beyond its legendary ability to ward off vampires, garlic is a true circulatory champion. It contains a compound called allicin, which helps relax blood vessels and can reduce arterial stiffness. It also supports healthy blood pressure and boasts anti-inflammatory properties that can help clear out potential circulatory blockages. Adding a little more garlic to your meals could indeed go a long way. Lastly, let's give some credit to celery. Often dismissed as simple diet food, celery actually has some impressive credentials for circulatory health. It contains compounds called phthalides, which help relax the muscles around your arteries, thereby improving blood flow. Celery also helps with hydration, provides valuable potassium and magnesium, and even lends support to testosterone production while helping to reduce inflammation. It's crunchy, refreshing, and surprisingly beneficial. And it's quite amazing when you stop and think about it. A significant part of the pharmacy for better circulation could be waiting for you right in your kitchen's crisper drawer. Tapping into ancient wisdom, herbal allies to get your blood moving. Beyond what we find on our plates, there's a whole world of herbal remedies that have been used for centuries across various cultures to support vitality and, yes, circulation. The research I've come across describes these herbs as time-tested tools that speak the same language as your body. It's about working in harmony with nature rather than against it. Several key herbal players are frequently mentioned for their potential benefits in this area. One prominent example is ginseng, specifically Panax ginseng, or Korean red ginseng. This herb is often referred to as the ignition key, and that nickname gives you a good idea of its esteemed reputation. Ginseng is believed to help relax and expand blood vessels, particularly those small, delicate ones found in the pelvic region. It appears to do this by stimulating nitric oxide production, which can lead to stronger, fuller blood flow. Users of ginseng often report not only enhanced performance, but also a greater sense of presence, mental clarity, and a feeling of warmth. Another herb that often comes up in discussions about men's health is horny goatweed, also known as epimedium. Let's be honest, the name itself is pretty suggestive of its traditional uses. The active ingredient in horny goatweed is a compound called icariin. Icariin is interesting because it works by inhibiting an enzyme called PDE5. This is noteworthy because that's a similar mechanism to how some well-known prescription drugs for erectile dysfunction work, but icariin does it naturally. This action can help restore blood flow and sensitivity. As an added benefit, horny goatweed may also gently boost testosterone levels and help lower cortisol, our old friend the stress hormone, which helps address the hormonal balance so crucial for healthy desire. Then there's ginkgo biloba. You might have heard of ginkgo primarily for its reputed benefits for memory and brain health, but its positive effects can extend to circulation throughout the entire body. It's particularly good at improving microcirculation. That's blood flow to the tiniest blood vessels, like those found in the brain and in the pelvis. Ginkgo acts as a natural blood thinner and a vessel opener, which can help to revive sensation and even emotional responsiveness. Lastly, Tribulus terrestris is an herb sometimes dubbed the male rejuvenator. That's a bold claim, of course, but it's traditionally known for supporting a man's overall sense of vitality, energy, confidence, and desire. It also plays a role in supporting healthy hormonal balance. As is the case with any herbal remedy or supplement, it's always a wise idea to have a chat with your doctor or a qualified healthcare practitioner before starting something new. This is especially important if you have any underlying health conditions or are currently taking other medications to avoid any potential interactions. But isn't it fascinating how these ancient plants, used for generations, can offer such relevant and potentially powerful support for modern men's health concerns, particularly when it comes to something as vital as circulation? A few more natural tricks that might be up your sleeve. The quest for better circulation and enhanced vitality doesn't necessarily stop with the food on your plate and the herbs in your cupboard. There are a couple of other natural approaches mentioned in the research I've reviewed that are worth a quick, though cautious, look. First, there's the somewhat surprising mention of baking soda. Now, this one comes with a fairly significant handle with care sign attached. The sources I've seen suggest that when baking soda is used in a very specific and safe manner, though frustratingly, the precise details of that safe way are not fully provided in these particular excerpts, it can apparently help to unclog veins, support healthy blood flow, and thereby reignite vitality. The mechanism seems to be related to its potential effects on artery flexibility and nitric oxide levels. However, because the how-to specifics are missing from this information, this is definitely not something to start experimenting with casually by raiding your kitchen cupboard. If this idea piques your interest at all, it's absolutely something to discuss in detail with a knowledgeable health professional who might be familiar with specific safe protocols. Self-treating here could be risky. Then there's the interesting, and perhaps for some, more appealing, mention of specific wines. Now, it's crucial to emphasize that we're not talking about overindulging here. Moderation is absolutely key. The idea presented is that certain types of wine, when consumed mindfully and in strictly moderate amounts, might offer some circulatory support. For instance, Pinot Noir is a red wine that is noted for being relatively high in resveratrol, that beneficial compound we also find in red grapes. It's thought that this resveratrol content can gently support blood flow and help restore the smooth rhythm of closeness. Another red wine, Cabernet Sauvignon, is mentioned as being rich in proanthocyanidins. These are powerful antioxidants that are believed to help protect and maintain the elasticity of your blood vessel linings. Keeping those linings smooth, flexible, and healthy is, of course, very important for good overall circulatory function. Once again, and it bears repeating, moderation is the absolute watchword if considering alcohol for any potential health benefit. Too much alcohol can easily have the opposite effect and can be detrimental to your cardiovascular health and overall well-being. But it's certainly interesting to see these specific mentions in the context of natural support for circulation. It's not just what you take, it's how you live, lifestyle for lasting intimacy. Improving circulation through diet and other natural aids is a huge piece of the puzzle, but it's not the only piece if we're aiming for holistic well-being and satisfying intimacy as we age. Our overall lifestyle choices, the state of our mental and emotional health, and even how we approach our most private moments all play a massive and interconnected role. Let's revisit the idea of mindful masturbation, ensuring it works for you, not against you. This is an area where some of those morning mistakes that can affect older men come back into focus, but this time with an emphasis on constructive solutions. A key piece of advice is to slow down and prep up a bit. This means trying to avoid rushing things, especially if it's first thing in the morning when your body might still be in a state of relative dehydration or running on an empty stomach. A simple glass of water, a few light movements or gentle stretches, and maybe even a small, easily digestible bite of food can make a big difference in preparing your body for any kind of physical exertion, including sexual activity. Posture for potency is another important consideration. Remember how we talked about awkward or tensed postures potentially cutting off blood flow? The antidote is to adopt a conscious and relaxed posture. This might mean trying to lie back, perhaps supporting your hips with a pillow if that feels comfortable, and generally keeping your pelvis open and untense to encourage, rather than restrict, healthy circulation to the area. And finally, embracing variety, self-compassion, and modern aids can be incredibly beneficial. It's often helpful to consciously let go of old myths, rigid techniques that no longer serve you, or any lingering pressure to perform exactly as you might have decades ago. Instead, try introducing variety in your technique, consciously slowing things down, and perhaps exploring your whole body for pleasurable sensations, not just focusing on one specific area. And please, don't be shy about using appropriate tools if they enhance your comfort and pleasure, such as a quality lubricant, to support your body's changing needs as you age. The overall focus should ideally shift away from any kind of rigid performance anxiety towards fostering a sense of connection, even with yourself, and simply being present and enjoying the experience. Then there's the absolutely crucial head game, your emotional and mental well-being. You can have the best circulation on the block, but if your head isn't in a good and healthy place, intimacy in all its forms will likely suffer. One of the biggest hurdles for some men can be kicking guilt to the curb. Seriously. We touched on this in relation to morning habits, but it bears repeating in this broader context. Carrying around shame or guilt about self-pleasure is incredibly counterproductive and can have tangible negative effects on your physical health. It can cause a spike in cortisol, the stress hormone, which in turn can suppress testosterone, raise blood pressure, weaken your immune system, lead to that frustrating brain fog, and deliver a significant hit to your self-worth. The experts who speak on this topic are quite clear. Shame must be left behind. This might be easier said than done, especially if you've carried these kinds of feelings for many years, perhaps due to upbringing or societal messages. But acknowledging and working to release this burden is a vital step towards holistic well-being. Another important aspect is to consider if you might be using masturbation to try and feed an emotional hunger. Sometimes, self-pleasure can become a primary coping mechanism for dealing with stress, loneliness, boredom, or even grief. It's important to try and recognize if this pattern is developing. While a physical release can certainly offer temporary comfort or distraction, it can't truly satisfy deep emotional hunger or resolve underlying emotional issues. Addressing those core emotional needs through genuine connection with others, pursuing engaging hobbies, spending time in nature, or even talking things through with a trusted friend or a therapist is crucial for true fulfillment. And let's not forget about the pornography paradox. Maintaining awareness is key. For some men, daily or very frequent use of pornography, especially if it's used as a quick and easy stimulus, can actually begin to rewire the brain over time. This can potentially lead to desensitization to real, nuanced, in-person intimacy, making natural touch or the subtleties of a partner's affection feel flat or unexciting. It can also inadvertently damage your ability to bond deeply with a partner and can foster unrealistic expectations about sex and arousal that can silently erode your confidence. Awareness of these potential effects is the first and most important step in making conscious choices about consumption. Finally, let's always remember to connect the dots. Intimacy is deeply intertwined with your overall vitality. Your sexual health isn't something that exists in a vacuum. It's a reflection and a component of your total health. For instance, did you know that your heart will thank you for paying attention to your sexual function? Your erections, or any significant changes in their quality or frequency, can actually be sensitive indicators of your underlying heart health. Any noticeable and persistent changes in erectile function should probably prompt a conversation with your doctor about a cardiovascular checkup. It's also a boost for your brain. Sexual activity, including orgasm, isn't just a physical event. It increases blood flow to the brain and triggers the release of a wonderful cocktail of beneficial neurochemicals like dopamine, oxytocin, and endorphins. These natural chemicals can improve your mood, significantly reduce stress levels, potentially enhance memory, and may even offer some protection against cognitive decline as we age. You're also contributing to a stronger body, all around. Regular sexual activity, in whatever form feels good and healthy for you, engages various muscle groups, can help improve flexibility, and supports healthy testosterone levels. And as we know, healthy testosterone is key for maintaining good muscle mass and bone density, which in turn helps reduce the risk of osteoporosis and frailty as we get older. There are even potential prostate perks. Here's one that many men will find interesting. Moderate and regular ejaculation is thought by some researchers to help regulate hormones and support prostate health, partly by helping to clear out old fluids from the prostate gland. There's even some ongoing research suggesting that it may potentially play a role in reducing the risk of prostate cancer over the long term. And last, but certainly not least, you can stress less and sleep deeper. That wonderful feeling of calm and relaxation that often follows an orgasm, that's thanks in large part to the release of calming neurochemicals like oxytocin and serotonin, which can significantly aid in falling asleep more easily and enjoying better quality more restorative sleep, as well as generally reducing stress levels. Better sleep and less stress? That's a combination most of us would gladly sign up for. This isn't an ending, fellas. It's about a reawakening to vitality. So, after all this discussion about circulation, diet, herbs, lifestyle, and well-being, what's the big takeaway message? It's actually an incredibly hopeful and empowering one. The research I've been reviewing and the collective wisdom of many health experts who focus on men's health all point to a powerful conclusion. Aging does not have to automatically mean the inevitable or irreversible decline of intimacy, sexual health, or overall vitality. That's a common myth, perhaps a societal expectation, but it's one that we can actively challenge and, for many of us, bust wide open right now. Instead, by recognizing and proactively addressing factors that we can influence, like poor circulation, and by making conscious choices through mindful practices in our daily lives, through smart and nourishing dietary choices, yes, more fruits and veggies, perhaps with the support of time-tested herbal remedies, and by adopting other natural health-promoting methods, you can pave the way for a significant and noticeable improvement in your physical vitality, your emotional connection with your partner, and just as importantly, with yourself, and your overall quality of life as you navigate these mature years. It's really about being proactive, not just reactive, when it comes to your health. It's about seeking to understand your body better, listening to its signals, and making informed choices that nourish you from the inside out. This journey isn't just about trying to reclaim something that might feel lost from the past. It's also about discovering a new level of well-being, a renewed sense of energy, and a deeper connection that can make these years truly fulfilling and golden. It's your health, it's your vitality, it's your intimacy. You have more power to influence these things than you might think. Take the reins, gentlemen. You've absolutely got this.